who join.
Gives driver the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Hi, my name is Frank Janey Jr., driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing. Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'd like to welcome everyone to Let's Talk Racing tonight. I'm Roger Brehm. To my left is Terry O'Connell, y'all's right, and then Stephen Durbin down at the far end. We're here to have fun.
Absolutely.
Let's talk some racing. You know what? Let's shed a little extra light on the subject.
It looks a little darker.
Absolutely. We're going to put a little light on the occasion here tonight, and
I'm not blinded like
we're going to get everybody up to speed on all the happenings of the last week. It's been a pretty full
There it is.
set of
Reminds me of a song.
circumstances going on, and by the way, Stevie's my new best friend because he's going to help me fix my car, and all's good on earth. And I think, Raj, who are our guests tonight?
Well, we're going to have Captain Thunder
Whoa!
of CaptainThunderRacing.com.
Does he have a uniform and everything?
We'll have to ask him.
I want to know.
He's always on Twitter.
Right.
Always on Twitter.
Right.
We're also going to have Kyle Lockrow. He's going to be calling in a little bit later, around 7:45.
Brother Kyle.
And I understand there may even be a surprise guest calling in about that time too.
Whoa!
Somebody found out he was going to be on there and wanted to call in and visit and say hi.
The mystery thickens. That's what we want. This is going to be our reality show of the week. Will there be mud wrestling before it's over with?
I don't know. Who's going to take on who?
Absolutely. Good deal.
If you're scared, say you're scared.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh.
So the topic of the night, we got several topics we're going to talk about tonight. And there was a press release from NASCAR today announcing there's going to be changes at Talladega to restrictor plates and the pop-off valve on the radiator so they could be less
separated.
Right, exactly. And is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Does it matter? There's been a lot of fan outcry that they didn't like this style of racing.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but that's just me.
Right.
Some of the drivers like it. Junior actually put it best when he said, he has no control of his destiny. He has to push somebody if he wants to be up front or get pushed. And once you're there at the end of the race, you can't move or you're going back.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
If they can figure out a way to separate it, if that works, then great. I don't think it will. Like somebody else, a few people have mentioned, I think it'll just make them go faster.
Right.
My opinion, they need to make the bumpers not line up anymore. Then they won't have
right.
You push each other, this is not going to work.
Right. Exactly.
But they want the bumpers to line up, so I think they're going to be stuck with that until they change that.
I think the bumper lineup is to give them more of a little safety buffer. If they do accidentally get a little too hard and bounce into
That's
it,
what I mean now.
if somebody gets a run on you.
Plus, right now they don't have they don't have to worry about that. So that's how they discovered it, was
Right.
the bumpers lined up, and we can go faster this way.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting, about the time they start getting used to one style of competing at these super speedways, NASCAR changes it up, which I don't think that's a bad thing anyway. I think it keeps everybody on their feet. It also keeps some of the bigger teams from fine-tuning that little aspect of the sport, and it brings the other guys up to the front.
Yeah.
And will it work? I think we just talked about that.
Go even along with that, and you see an occasional guy in the back that's usually in the back up front being pushed by one of the bigger teams, but normally you see Hendrick cars,
Right.
RCR cars, Roush,
Right.
they're all in one group teamed up together
Sure.
in the front.
Sure.
The other guys get lifted out.
Sure, absolutely. And I think the kicker from the fans, just me keeping up with it and checking out some of the blogs and stuff, was it's such, they only raced the last 10 laps of the race. And which I think throughout history at Talladega, I think pretty much everybody kind of rides around anyway
For a little bit. Yeah.
for, to the latter third of the race, because it is kind of a crapshoot.
There's a few that don't.
Sure.
For the majority, you'll see a lot of the bigger names go to the back and just kind of ride until
Hang
the last
out.
40 laps, then
Right.
they'll start trying to work their way up.
I guess that gives the fans more time to drink beer.
Exactly.
And go have more beer, soda,
Exactly.
hot
It's a marketing
dogs,
opportunity.
hamburgers, barbecue.
Right.
That's just the draft, the big packs, what that does.
It's the way it works.
Yeah, I don't
know.
think they can get away from that. They've tried a few things here and there. Even if you open the restrictor plate now, everything they handle so much better, so they're not going to be gapped as far.
Right.
The track's not bumpy anymore, so it's smooth as glass.
Absolutely.
To
Absolutely.
me, I would say it's almost impossible to separate everybody. Like it used
I
to
do
be.
too. I do too. Daryl walked up in Lake Speed, who were friends of mine. They used to, when all of this, the body styles became more sleek and aerodynamic, and the speed started to increase, and the packs got together. They always went to NASCAR and said, look, if you'll just take the front valence and give more distance between the ground where it's just not tucked down, and get it back to where it was in the 80s,
Yeah.
then that changes the whole dynamics of
Goes back
that
to having
situation.
horsepower.
Exactly. And you got to let off the gas when you get to the corner. You're not glued to the track. So,
Yeah, I know everybody always says just take the restrictor plates off, but they had Rusty do that. He had permission to take one of the cars and do that. And he hit 240 miles an hour in Talladega.
Exactly.
It's like they can't race like this.
crazy.
No, the cars right now, the design, the safety factors are all scaled in for the speeds they're hitting.
Yeah.
If they start hitting that, they're going to have to start beefing up the chassis. And
Right.
That's another thing I'm curious about. Since they open the restrictor plate up, they're still going to be pushing each other. So what speed are they going to reach now?
Sure.
This time
They'll
around?
probably get about another 5 to 10 mile an hour
Yeah.
out.
You think? Yeah, how about that?
They're already
Amazing.
hitting around close, right at 200.
It'll be over 200 again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
know.
Hopefully they can stay on the ground.
Cool
Well,
beans.
there's like we're talking about all the ground effects package and working they're doing into them now.
Right. Right.
When are we going to start seeing spoilers like Indy 5? I mean, the Formula 1
Formula
cars
1.
sitting on the back end next.
I know. I
Back-
guarantee you some of those engineers are trying to figure out a way to make
Shades
that
of
happen.
1970s with the big wings on the
I
back
wouldn't mind
end.
seeing that.
Hey, I think you
Old
should have a
Superbirds.
retro race. What do
Yeah,
you
old
think?
Superbirds.
Like old school retro race.
Oh yeah,
Why not?
that would be really good. They go spend quite a chunk of change to go. Well, they don't have to find them now. They can just
Maybe
remanufacture.
for the All-Star race at Charlotte.
There you go.
Run
Maybe
what
we can
you-
do. We
run
talked
what you
about
want.
get rid of the pit crews. You know, have the old bar. to
Spin wrench.
Yeah, the spin wrench.
Oh, my
bar.
God, wouldn't that
Change
be
the
cool?
tires.
Oh God, yes.
No
Back
air
at
guns.
30-second, 40-second
Right.
stops.
I think that'd be fabulous if they just do it, actually.
By the way, I got a message from Dottie Hicks. She's one of the people out there that watches the show and likes to keep following the things I do. We're working with a charity auction group at the Carrot Tree Kitchens. The charity is Bridges to Prosperity. And of course, I've got a lot of NASCAR stuff out on the auction thing out there. It ends this weekend.
Right.
And she's been giving me grief because I keep putting information out there about Matt Kenseth's autographed hat that's on there.
Okay.
So she keeps sending me messages about, don't tell anybody about it. I'm winning the bid.
She wants that hat.
We won't tell anybody, Dottie, about the Matt Kenseth hat. It's at bid, B-I-D, the number 4, then C-T-K for carrottreekitchens.com. Okay, Dottie, we didn't tell anybody, okay?
Yes.
And just do a search for Matt Kenseth.
Oh, that's funny. You go, Dottie. For years, honey. You just got to be aggressive and be on it.
It's very easy. If you do the reserve bid price on it,
Right.
you're automatically the winner. Period. So guess what, Dottie?
Inside information, honey. Exactly.
Go there and buy now.
Good deal.
Well, Stevie's heading there. But the Carrot Tree Kitchens, we've all been to there before. Got great food.
Right. Amazing.
They gave me a call today because everybody's loving the cakes because they put a carrot cake,
Right.
and a chocolate cake both out there, and people are bidding on it gangbusters. So they said we'll put 2 more of those out there. So we did.
That's awesome.
But anyway,
All
sorry
for a
to
great cause, too.
sorry to shift off of the.
No, I think that's great. Absolutely. Well, guys, let
We
me tell you
like
something.
charities.
We have Talladega. We discussed that, and hopefully some of our fans will, get in the chat room. We can talk about that. But I do not think the Menard spin-out issue has been settled.
No.
The biggest thing I see, anybody can edit anything to make anything sound like something.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And so, I mean, granted, if they gave me the raw footage of all the audio, then that would be a good thing to sit there and make an adjustment.
Right.
Sound good?
Right. Right.
There was some incriminating statements. They would be telling him, we don't need a caution now.
Right. Not now.
Don't need a caution. Okay.
We'll let you know.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's sort of, what do you mean? No, we don't need a caution now. Okay. But, well, because Harvick was leading Gordon pretty good distance by a few
Exactly.
seconds, so
Right.
don't need one now. Does that mean we're going to need one later?
Right. Save your caution till later. Exactly. Well, I think I think it opens up that can of worms in the discussion on team orders. What's proper, what's not proper. Racing's racing. It's been going on for years. Yada yada yada. I think you just kind of have to look at all because Junior's been accused and he's admitted.
Well, it wasn't much admitting. It's more of they kind of caught him. He
Exactly.
turned himself in on that one.
Right.
I want to say like
Sure.
01 or 02. He spun out at Bristol all by
Right.
himself. Nothing happened. And on radio he said, never spun out on purpose before.
Right.
And no, they didn't catch that till after, like the next couple weeks or something. But I'm sure it has happened before many times. It wasn't the first time or only time somebody's
Right.
done that.
Right.
So whether or not I did it on purpose, maybe, I don't know. Team orders, whether they say they don't exist, I hate to say they probably do.
Right.
The question is, if he spins out and he goes a lap down, it's basically a self penalty to him for that.
Sure.
Because you don't get it back, don't get a wave around.
Yeah.
Well, Menards was 80 laps down though.
Yeah, that was different.
So it kind of takes that one out.
Different scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
That's just the fine print. We have to.
I remember
look at
Junior
that,
was on
so.
the lead lap when he did it. So.
Right. That's the reason he needed his caution. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think any type of competitive sport where there's team involved, I think it's always going to be a slanted area that's called the gray area that gets put into play.
You always see it more in road racing and Formula One, IndyCar, stuff like that. NASCAR, you never really noticed the team order stuff. You never really heard about it. But when you have the bigger teams, it's going to exist somewhere along the line. Whether you notice it or not, it's up to you.
Right.
But like in Formula One, I remember a couple races. They both cars were first and second, and they made the leader slow down to get the other guy first.
Right.
Because he was going to win the championship if he
Was it
won.
Mario?
One of the Ferraris.
Yeah.
I think it was Schumacher and somebody else.
Rubens Barrichello.
Yeah.
Rubens Barrichello.
Right.
I remember that one because
Exactly.
he was the one that was in the lead and he got pissed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he was mad as he had to give it up. It does happen. I've seen a lot of road racing, the Le Mans series, stuff like that.
Right.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. It's the same thing as somebody slowing down to let your team make the legal lap.
If you worked your way
Yeah.
up there and you're up front, win the race. Go
Gas
for
it up.
Go for it.
Don't,
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to back off. But that's,
Exactly.
that's me.
So what should the penalty be if there is a definite they get caught, it's definite, there it is. What you should, because people are saying, like, suspend them for a race,
I say if
da-da-da-da-da.
there's going to be a penalty, it should be during the actual race, not
Right.
afterwards.
Right.
It's already over with. So.
Well, NASCAR many times is, hey, the race is over with. We found out this. Bang, you're getting $25,000 penalty.
Right.
I still say if they don't catch it, then I think it's their fault for not catching it first.
Cool.
It's not technically illegal on the car.
Right.
You did something you shouldn't do, but
Now, now I have
you
never
didn't cheat in
spun out on purpose myself.
Yeah.
There was one night, though, that during the racing year, we would never get any long green flag racing, and it was always 5 or 10 laps, somebody crashed. 5 or 10 laps, somebody crashed. Went on for at least 15 races.
Yeah.
Okay? So your stamina at this point really sucks. Well, we had a night we were 75 laps in, still going. No cautions. My arms were killing me. Somebody tapped me from behind, and I didn't even bother to correct
It
it.
was like, oh.
I said yes, and I was going to the infield into the dirt. Nothing was going to hurt. Just spin out. I had about 16 out of the 22 drivers come up to me and thank me for spin out.
Thank you. Our tongues were hanging out.
So,
I totally
think
know.
If
Exactly.
they penalize them for that, I think you also have to penalize everybody that sits on the racetrack after they spin out when they're fine,
Right.
to bring a caution out. So that brings that whole aspect. 'Cause there's a lot of people that do that, and you can see it,
Right.
but I don't know.
Absolutely.
There's a few other things I won't mention. I don't want to bash NASCAR on here.
You never know who's listening. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Not really. I don't. It doesn't
no,
bother me.
it's not, you're not really bashing if you're pointing out stuff. And I will tell you this: we've had Mike Helton listening in here before,
Sure.
Yeah,
and we
sure.
were actually talking about things. And apparently, we created it funny enough. He really enjoyed it because the person that he was watching over his shoulder told me later on she thought he was going to piss in his pants. Okay,
Okay. My
Oh, that'd
other
be
biggest.
funny.
Mike Helton has bad kidneys. Okay,
Right.
fine.
It's all right. It's okay.
He
My
can't
other
hold his
thing
juice.
We
I
love you,
noticed,
Mike,
though-
but hey.
Can't hold his juice.
The other thing I noticed, though, along those lines was if some people brush the wall, they throw a caution right away.
Oh, exactly.
If other people brush the wall, they don't throw a caution. I've seen blown tires hit the wall, no caution at all. If somebody brushed the wall, and yellow, caution.
Politics.
I know.
That's right.
And it shouldn't happen. Stick to one
Should-
thing or the other.
Shouldn't have done. If you hit the wall, if the wheel or anything comes off the car, or the wheels, doing like this and rubber's throwing, throw the caution.
Yeah.
If they
Just
do the
fly
squeak,
off.
if they go do the squeak and it just kicks up dust, keep going.
Yeah. That's one thing that bugs me. Like, I can't stand that.
I know.
It just seems like they say it's usually one of the guys towards the bottom half of the points that brush the wall and they don't throw a caution, but then they have to come down pit road or something and then they end up going a lap down, just ruins their whole race. Where
Right.
if the upper guys caution, they're saved.
You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to bring Tony in tonight
Oh, yeah.
since he won.
That's right.
Right there.
Hey,
You
Tony.
need to bring him in?
Sure,
Bring
no.
him bring him up and
Bring
let
Boyardee
him
over.
hang out with us. I know I have a lot of my friends on Facebook who'll love this for sure. Absolutely. Well, anyway, I think it's an interesting conversation because it's been one of those little blogosphere stories for a couple of weeks because people have definite views on it. People don't like it. Okay, come on in,
Tony's
baby.
beating you up.
There you are. Of course, his neck.
Everybody keeps
his head
bouncing
is
that head
kinda
around.
low.
Just let it relax.
There you
It'll
go.
be
That
okay.
works.
There you go. Faith, we're doing this just for you, honey. It's all good. Absolutely.
But,
It is a good topic.
Absolutely.
And there's always different opinions on it.
Right on. Well, I'll tell you something, too. We had the big rain out this weekend, which took a little fizzle out of the chase. But once they got the race going, it was a pretty good race, actually. And, and obviously Tony and Darian Grubb, calculated their fuel down to the last tenth of a gallon. Good for them. They kind of were owed one. But we had some drivers who stumbled there. And, Denny Hamlin,
Kyle Busch.
Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson.
I was watching on my phone. I see the 18 go down
Sure.
pit road. I'm like, oh no!
I know.
I'm a Kyle fan,
I
so
know.
I was not happy to see that.
I know, exactly.
I couldn't tell what was going on in the race. I just saw him going up here. I was like, oh, it must be fuel mileage. I saw a few other cars
Yeah, they were
slow down.
coasting in.
Or I guess
exactly.
dots, not cars.
Oh no. I think the question is, as competitive as the chase is, really the 12 are all capable teams, drivers, and with the point system is designed the way it is there the opportunity, without the others stumbling, for those lower half of the standings to bounce back? And who do we think would be the one who would actually have the better opportunity to do that?
Oh, first let me find out.
Yeah.
Everybody that's in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody that's in it has the equal chance to win because
Right.
who is it? Tony now has a win, so they can quit fussing that he doesn't have a win.
Exactly.
See that? I think Tony would be one. Tony, Denny, and Brad Keselowski.
Right.
Tony and Brad have had the momentum.
Right.
And
Right.
Denny, they're coming up on a few of the tracks that he always does good at.
Right. The flat tracks, for sure.
Martinsville.
Sure.
Well, and Phoenix is now a wild card because it's completely
That's
redesigned,
right.
so we don't even know who's going to do good there exactly.
Exactly.
I could see Newman do it because he's been consistent all year long. I'm not
Right.
sure where he is.
Would that be such a fairy tale story if Ryan Newman could win the championship?
I'd love to see him.
I think that would be awesome.
That would be
I think
cool.
he's needed. He's
Chrissy would love it, I'm sure.
Sure, right, and that'd be a crowning moment in his career. He's had a great career,
Yeah.
it's just, but he's also not had that career of Gordon or Stewart or yada yada yada. It's positioning with the right team at the right time. But Newman is very capable. I think he could win it and get on a roll.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens here. You know.
Plus, it is only the second year Stewart Haas has been
I know.
up, so now they're starting to gel and come together.
Exactly.
I mean, as soon as they got the team going, of course the big naysayers, they can't win. Then he races and what? Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom,
Tony
boom.
snags through.
Right. Knocked him right out. Well, it's such a fickle sport. It's so competitive.
Yeah, a lot of people will like this, but I can see Junior. He's
Oh, I do
fifth
too.
right now,
I know.
but
Yeah.
he's good at Martinsville. He's good at Talladega.
Right.
He was good at Phoenix. I don't know if
Right.
that will change much or not.
Right.
Come on a few that he's always good at.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
a possibility. And they've been stepping it up too. He
Right.
was, fifth or sixth last weekend?
Absolutely.
Chicago.
And
They're getting better.
the thing about Jeff Gordon was better there than what it showed because he was up to 8th or 9th there at the very end, and he was running out of gas, so he had to back out of it. And they ran out of gas anyway. And Gordon is good at all these tracks coming up, and they've been on a roll too.
Good
So,
track.
right. However, the thing is with Stewart and Harvick, who's in third place there?
Edwards. Carl Edwards.
With them running as consistently as they are, one of the three of them are going to have some bad luck in here to get the points reset with some of these other drivers.
Here's the example. Top five is Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, 13 on the season.
Right.
More than everybody else.
Right.
They're the only ones really in double digits.
Amazing.
That's hard to compete with when you
It-
have somebody doing that.
It's true. It's true.
Of course, Kyle lost 8 spots because he ran out of gas.
I know.
That's the tight points. You can come
Uh-huh.
back. Like I said, Talladega is a wild card. You
Sure.
never know what's going to happen there, especially now.
Right. And the thing about it, I think the conversation transcends into the fact, are gas mileage races good, bad, indifferent? Should NASCAR do something to maybe take a little bit of the gas mileage
I don't think you can
out
do
of it?
anything. It's honestly, I've seen it at just about every track.
The big one.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen
That's-
fuel
that
mileage
straightens
almost
out
at every
everything.
track.
Right.
I've seen it at Talladega.
Right.
I've seen it at Martinsville. So
Right.
it doesn't. I mean, it all depends on where they pit last.
Sure. Absolutely.
They know what they can run. If they
Right.
if the caution comes out around that time, they're going to pit and try and go for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Menard's win in Indy was set up because of his spin.
Yeah.
He got to go in and get
Yeah.
gas, and it is what it is. It's a game.
I don't think they can do anything to fix that, or not really
No.
fix it, but change it. That's
No.
just the luck of the race. It's just coincidence. It's happened a lot this year.
Right.
Well, I mean-
Exactly.
Which I actually like those because you're on the end, you don't know what's going to happen, who's going to run out, and then everybody starts running out.
It was Tentsfield on Monday.
I like those.
Now they're running what 18-gallon fuel cells now, or are they still running
I don't know.
22?
I don't.
No, they've backed them down. So, is it 20 gallons or even less?
I don't.
I think
Maybe
they
less.
went down to 18.
It might be 18.
Yeah.
Put them. Weren't there for a while? They were trying to run 11-gallon fuel cells.
They ran it at Talladega that way,
Right.
and they were just pitting way too much, and
Right.
they went back.
Hey, that's fine.
They did it to separate the packs, to try and get the packs
Sure.
out, and then they kept
Sure.
coming back together. It didn't take long to come back together, and it wasn't really doing anything.
Right.
So,
Right.
But they
still
didn't
had
do it
packs.
with the bump drafting package either.
Not yet.
Right.
So I mean, there's the chance there that the combination there might work.
I don't want them separated though.
Keep them tight.
And then it just becomes nothing's happening. Like, okay.
Right.
Oh,
Absolutely.
All right. My solution: go
Okay.
back to my original way of doing points. You get a point for every
I
lap
had
you
a better
lead.
one.
What's that?
Do it Formula One style. The top 10 get points. You know how many people be fighting for 10th?
That's right.
They want to win the championship. They got a place.
But see, they still don't do a lot of changing of except back in that area.
Right.
So
Right.
instead of somebody just sitting there riding in the back, on those big races,
Right.
they won't
Right.
ride in the back because
Yeah.
whoever's out front is going to be
Getting the
clicking,
points,
clicking,
clicking the
clicking,
points out.
clicking,
Point,
clicking.
point. You win.
That's
You
right.
beat 100 laps. You got 100 points.
Absolutely.
Better get your booty back out front, Gomer.
Absolutely.
That'd be interesting to see too.
Well, our Captain Thunder,
Captain Thunder, he's done.
he's late.
He's done thunderclapped his butt right
He
out
might
there.
To, I didn't know if he was the guy that was going to
Was it
shoot out of the
7:15 or
cannon or
7:30?
what. I didn't know.
You supposed to call it 7:15 or 7:30?
7:15.
Okay.
Oh, he's late. Hey, Captain Thunder.
He might have got busy.
Calling Captain
Because
Thunder.
see, he has a show that he does at 8:00.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So that's why
Sure.
he's supposed to be at
He might have to do
7:15.
something to
Sure.
ready for that.
That's
You know how that
Absolutely.
goes.
Well, guys, last Wednesday night we had on the legend NASCAR Hall of Famer Ned Jarrett, and it was such an incredible
You missed
show. And
it was great.
Ned's he's such a great guy, but his history is so stellar and checkered, and it was just a great story.
Gentlemen,
What we're going to try to do here at Let's Talk Racing is maybe once a month, if not more, have on a legend of the sport. And what we'd like to do through our chat room is have some suggestions on who you'd like to have on and who is your favorite legend. And we're going to leave Dale Earnhardt out as your favorite because everybody knows that's your favorite.
a lot of people's favorite.
We got it. But the Allisons, Kel Yarborough, Red Farmer, Buzzy Ruderman, it doesn't have to be NASCAR or Sprint Cup. It could be anybody, a legend that you like. And we're going to do our darndest to start booking these guys and maybe have this the go-to place to meet the legends.
Okay, now there is the Let's Talk Racing chat room group that is on Facebook. It's facebook.com/groups/LTR chat room. Okay, a lot of the people that watch the show are already members in there. We've got over 3,000 people as
Right,
members.
right.
I'm going to go ahead and put a question out there
Fabulous.
and
response.
look for the responses.
Absolutely.
Works for me.
We can even do a poll, I think, on this thing too.
That's it. By the way, we're running a poll on my Facebook page too, and we'll get to that later.
Yeah,
Be
I'd
fabulous.
love to see Kale or David Pearson. Kale Yarborough, David Pearson.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Just listen to the stories.
I know. Because first of all, they all have great sense of humors.
Oh, yeah.
And also their egos are really big, which is
Kale especially.
Oh, exactly.
And Dave. Well, both of them, yeah.
Absolutely. And I actually would like to have Junior Johnson and his son Robert on at the same time, and because I think that would be a great conversation to have because Junior's really dove in and trying to get Robert up to speed, and he's such a nice kid.
Even local legends.
Absolutely. Who would be your favorite local legend?
Here, I don't know very many, but
Right.
Wayne Niedecken Jr. from Pensacola,
Uh-huh.
Five Flags.
Mm-hmm.
It was where my dad worked, but he
Right.
was a legend of that track.
Absolutely.
His dad won the very first snowball derby, and
Right.
Junior, we call him Junior, he won it too. So they're first, I think, only father-son to win that race.
Wow.
And he's
Right.
got a lot of wins there. I'm not sure how many
Amazing
championships he
stuff.
has, but just to be a part of that,
Right.
he's a great person, all-around guy.
What kind of car did he drive?
It was late model.
A late model?
Yeah.
Sure.
But,
Absolutely.
Might have been super late models. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I was young then.
You're still young, Steve.
Okay, I was like 6 to 10.
Okay, really young. That's right. Right.
Just being around that, I didn't realize at the time how big he was.
Sure.
then once I started realizing everything, I was like, wow.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
became a legend there. A lot of people down there know who he is just by his name. Even if he doesn't, he doesn't run there now. He retired, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago from there.
Right, right.
I got to call him and see what he's doing now. I'm sure he wouldn't mind getting on here.
He'd probably love to hear from you.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. My other than my father, growing up, there was a guy by the name of Hooker Hood. And he raced at West Memphis, Arkansas, on the quarter-mile dirt there. It's a legendary sprint car modified track there. And Hooker is a sprint car legend icon. And virtually everybody who have ever raced sprint cars in the last 40 years think Hooker Hood is the most badass sprint car driver ever. And his son, Ricky Hood, went on to win the sprint car USAC National Championship in the 80s. But Hooker was a real player. He was a ladies' man. He used to let all the kids get on the Nerf bars of his sprint car after the race, and he'd ride everybody around. And unfortunately, nobody was killed.
Oh yeah, that's always a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah, so, but it was, we all have. What about you, Raj? I know you came late to the sport, but
I hate to say,
well, you're only 22.
Well, I know. Thank you for that.
Right.
But I do have. My father did race too. He
Sure.
raced with Richard and Lee Petty.
Right. Exactly.
So my family roots go way back.
Right.
I remember being a little yonker, really little yonker.
Or Yonker.
He had a grasshopper
Yonker.
thing sitting on the right side of the car while he was doing laps out at Langley.
Absolutely.
It was still dirt.
Absolutely. So we all have those fun
That
memories.
might
I know
just
our
do my
fans do too.
22-year-old thing,
One was we should
Sure.
try getting is Dave Blaney.
Dave Blaney, I used to race sprint cars with
NASCAR,
Dave Blaney
NASCAR
for years.
fans may not consider him a legend, but sprint car world,
Oh,
I definitely do.
he-
That's why I
he
watched
is.
him grow
Exactly.
up. Watched him make his way up just to see him.
Absolutely.
All right, I need some more legend names to throw on here. I was trying to type some and think at the same
Did you
time.
get David Pearson?
Well, I think Leland McSpadden from the West Coast. I think Chuck Gurney, who I used to race with on the West Coast. I think those are all West Coast legends. I think Sammy Swindell, obviously.
Yeah, Sammy.
Slammin' Sammy. From a late model standpoint, there's a lot of guys floating around. I think Red Farmer,
Scott Pruitt.
Scott Pruitt, one of my go-kart racing buddies.
He's a road racing legend anywhere you go.
Absolutely.
He's still doing good.
I'll tell you a guy, too, I'd like to get on. He's a good friend of mine. His name is Russ Thompson. And Russ Thompson is Scott Pruitt, Scott Goodyear, Russ Thompson, and I, and the Green brothers all kind of grew up racing go-karts with one another. And Russ he's the statistician for ESPN, and more specifically the Versus Network and the IndyCar Series. And Russ knows everything about everybody. It's amazing. It's almost kind of scary. And he's a great conversation. He's a great radio and TV guy, too. I would love to get Russ Thompson on. And you can't get him stopped. But he knows all the Nashville, Owensboro, and Nashville old-timers trivia. And he just went to one last year, and he sent me some photographs of it. It was amazing to see all that stuff. And in fact, he just sent me an old flyer program from the Nashville Fairgrounds indoor arena, where my dad and Marty Robbins were racing midgets in 1960. Wow. It was amazing. It was amazing to see that. So, but yeah, I think there's a lot of things out there.
Throw Frank Kimmel out there.
Frank Kimmel.
Frank on here.
Frank Kimmel, Raj.
He's one of the underrated
Totally.
legends.
Absolutely. He's an ARCA guy, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Both
Actually, I'm trying to remember. We may have already actually had Frank on here
Oh,
before.
really? Yeah. He's a great driver.
Doesn't hurt to get him back on here.
No, it
yeah,
doesn't.
it's always good to talk to him.
I think he spread it around through different divisions.
Yeah, that's
different,
not just NASCAR, it's racing in general.
absolutely. Maybe even Lake
You put
Speed.
Jeremy McGrath on.
Right.
Ooh, Lake Speed would be good.
Lake Speed would be great to get on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you could probably get Darrell Waltrip on. Of course, we'd have to devote 5 shows to that because he wouldn't want to stop talking. And even Phil Parsons, because Phil Parsons has that storied history with his brother. Right. Exactly.
There's a lot of names we can throw on there.
Yeah, of course, Chocolate. I think Chocolate Myers has been on. He's an old
Yeah, we've
friend,
had him on.
and he's hilarious, and he's got great stories.
Oh God, yes.
And you can't get him to stop either. So anyway, I think the entree of potential legends is just. I think it goes on and on and on. and everybody has one. We want to hear from everybody. You can go to Facebook and post your favorite, give us suggestions, and Roger Dodger will get on it and see what we can do.
I'm adding names as we go here.
Absolutely.
I'm also trying to create the same link to
Right.
their Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Mario
You know what? I think they're making.
Mario
I think
Andretti.
Mario would do it. I
Or
think
AJ Foyt.
they all want to have a platform to talk about.
AJ's a good
I don't
guy.
think
I've
Mario-
met him before.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind meeting people talking.
Yeah.
He's been around everything.
George Snyder. George Snyder's a protege of AJ Foyt's, and Indy cars, champ cars, sprint cars, midgets.
George Snyder, you
George
said?
Snyder, and he is up to no good, I assure you. And he knows things on AJ. I think even getting Robin Miller on here from Speed and the Versus Network would be kind of a coup d'etat for us too. And so those are just great names to throw out there for sure.
What about Ray Evernham?
I guarantee you Ray Evernham would be honored. And he also, Ray Evernham at his, what is it, Lincoln Speedway that he bought
I think so.
up there around Statesville, wherever it's at. But he has a new racing series he developed. And basically what it is, it's like a dirt modified, only it's a Legends car. It's more like a midget or a sprint car, and they run the 600cc
Okay.
engines in them, but they look like a modified. They're really cool.
That sounds
So he's really
interesting.
promoting that series. He could come on.
So far, Bobby Allison is leading.
Of course he is. Actually, Bobby Allison is my hero in motorsports. When it's all said and done, Hooker Hood, sprint cars, but Bobby Allison overall.
I've got Hooker Hood in there too.
Right. So anyway, I think we're on to something here, but I think this could be the go-to show for meeting legends and talking to legends and let them have a platform. Because if we forget about the history of our sport, we've missed the boat. So,
Cooney,
absolutely.
Dunn.
You know, Don Gauntlets, Tommy
Dunleavy.
Ivo, even the
Don
drag racers.
Gross.
Dunleavy, Levy.
Junie Dunleavy, Donlavey.
Yeah.
Don.
Yeah,
Oops.
Don Gross, he's fun to talk to. I got to meet
absolutely.
him.
Yeah,
I didn't realize my dad knew him. He just went to a drag race and just walked up to him and started talking. Wow. We had to
know.
go behind the staging lanes where everybody did their burnouts and
Sure.
racing while he's watching the cars.
sure.
He's a good, great
Yeah.
guy. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of the drag racing
Yeah.
world. But that's one thing I love. I do love about drag racing in general. If you go to one, you can just walk around the garage area. Drivers will talk to you.
I know. It's amazing.
It's so relaxed and nice. Anybody who hasn't experienced it needs to at least once.
Right on. NHRA should hire you. Who's their
Hire me.
PR guy? Is that
Sure.
so? Tell me, you've been running the grand stocks out here at Langley Speedway.
Trying to.
Trying to. It's been raining so much. So
Two
what's
races in a row
coming?
right
So what's
now.
coming up for the rest of the year? You guys got something coming up? Or you
Well, if the rain holds off, we're racing this weekend,
right?
and we
Absolutely.
got well, actually the next 2 weekends, this weekend and next weekend, and we got a break, and the 2 weekends after that, then we're done.
Done. Right.
So that's for the year, and I know we've talked about it before, going down to Myrtle Beach, or something I'd like to do is do what is it, the Snowflake 100 they do
Right.
at Rockingham.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's those style cars.
Right.
I just got to see the rules engine wise and stuff. See if we meet that.
Well, I'll come pit for you.
Okay.
I'll be there.
I just think it'd be a blast to have 100 of those cars out there just to go out and race Rockingham.
Sure. Absolutely.
We something to look into at least.
Right.
Right now, we're just taking one race at a time, trying to get on the track.
Yeah.
Hopefully, practice tomorrow if the rain holds off.
Sure.
'Cause it's
Sure.
supposed to rain all week, but
Right.
Yeah, no, the whole forecast, Weather Channel.
Yeah.
The whole
drops,
thing.
drops.
It's crazy. And
it'll stop eventually.
sure.
You'll get back on the
Absolutely.
track.
In December, we'll get our next race in.
And of course, it's once we get the car running right, it starts raining and we can't get on the track.
That's the way it always goes.
We ran practice. We were in the top. I think we were 6th out of 12, but we were only 3/10 off of the fastest car. So
Right.
we're in that top group now.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so now I'm curious to see what we'll do in the race.
Sure.
It makes me want to push harder and everything. So
Right.
we
Right.
got a promising races coming up.
Cool beans. I think this is really kind of my first year to kind of hang out around the Langley Speedway crowd. I love the people.
Yeah.
The Speedway's incredible. They have a great fan following, and
Even Grant's, all the
amazing
drivers have
to me.
offered to help.
Sure.
When we needed a rear end issue, everybody said they were keep their eyes open. They were willing to help if
Right.
they had anything.
right,
So everybody's just so relaxed. And on the track, obviously, a different story sometimes, but it's
Right.
track. It's racing.
it's racing. It's
They
racing.
kind of forget it.
It's burning rubber.
afterwards. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool beans. I think there's a modified race coming up on the 15, like a big
yeah.
championship race
Big.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget how many to win. What's it?
Racing for
5,000
Hope's
win?
going to be. Foundation's going to be
I believe it's
the title
5,000
sponsor for
the
that.
winner or something
Yeah.
like that. It's,
Yep.
it's a big.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So there'd be a lot of people there. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Be good racing.
I'm cheating over here.
Are you?
Cheating.
Yeah, Roger's got 4 computers going at one
Cheating.
time. Go figure.
Multitasking.
Go figure. Absolutely.
They got a lot of good stuff over here, like
Yeah.
Sam R., Jack Anderson.
Absolutely.
Donnie
Even like
and
names
Bobby.
you never heard of that are very regionally and locally fixed for race fans.
Ernie
the-
Elliott.
Ernie Elliott would be great. Some Oswego characters. There's got to be some guys up there. Schrader, oh my God, Schrader would be fabulous to have on. I know stories
He's
about
still
Schrader.
racing. so-
I know stories about Schrader, y'all. Never tell.
We probably never
Like,
get him on
so-
here because he's racing all the time.
That's true. That's true.
But we could try.
Yeah. And even some female drivers. There's a lot of female drivers from back in the day.
Oh,
St. James.
That-
Like to
Yeah.
see-
Wouldn't it be incredible? Shirley Muldowney.
Yep, surely.
Go Shirley.
oh, we have
Plenty of
Ian,
I
Ian
grew up
Cushman.
Okay.
Ian Cushman.
I've heard of the name.
What's that? IIM?
Sure. Yeah. And even
Okay.
somebody like Rick Wilson from back in the day, too, because
Yep.
Rick has got I think Rick has a son who's now doing late models down in the northern Florida, Mobile area. And so there's lots of people who've transitioned through the sport. Right.
Here's a good one for you.
Who's this?
Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
Joe Gibbs.
Yeah.
What a story. What an amazing story.
The stuff he's done.
Yeah.
And
And the
just
things
have
that,
a football
the
team,
people he's had to control.
drag
Is
race
it-
team, and a NASCAR team,
Yeah.
and be successful in all three of them.
Right. Motocross. Exactly.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Cool beans.
I like that. Even Ricky Carmichael.
Ricky Carmichael.
Just to see what he's.
But he's not a legend yet. He's still.
Well, he's a
young.
legend. He's a
The
legend
dirt bike
in
world,
dirt
he
bike.
is.
Yeah, I know. Well,
He's the greatest,
what I said, dude.
greatest of all time.
Keep it wide open.
Right?
I mean,
He's young and he's already a legend.
Absolutely. And what we probably could do is get Travis Pastrana to jump the studio on a dirt bike
We could do
while
that.
we do a
Yeah.
podcast.
I like to see that.
What would be wrong with that? No? Yes? No?
what
Anyway,
what
all
have
in
you been
fun.
giving her to drink over here?
No, I've had a couple of Red Bulls this afternoon. It's all good. But I think this whole Legends thing could turn into something really positive for the show.
Who's June Cleveland?
I don't know. I've never heard of June Cleveland.
She's listed
Probably
as
local legend.
drivers.
Local legend.
Yeah. I don't know.
Curtis
Interesting.
Crawfish Kreider.
What's he looking at over there?
He's got a cheat sheet. on the,
Legends of NASCAR.
Oh. I don't have
Absolutely.
that.
Roger Brehm.
I was
Yeah.
just naming just racing.
Right.
No, I'm the legend of Langley's. But hey,
Right.
my wife, she's married to a legend in racing. What can I say?
That's what you told her when you met her, didn't you?
That's what
I
she
didn't
said.
have to. The TV told us that the other night. Did you catch it the
I
other
saw
night?
that.
I
I saw
did.
that.
You told me about it. I didn't catch
Amazing
it.
stuff.
Oh yes.
Amazing stuff.
The things people I
Yeah,
know that'll
baby.
do that I don't even know about.
I know.
Oh,
Anyway.
gosh.
So I think those are all. I think I
Is
think
Bud
that's
Moore
our
still
opportunity.
alive?
Bud Moore is still alive. He's kicking well. He and David Pearson and the guys
he
have
is.
lunch almost every day and drink
Bud
coffee
Moore.
down in Spartanburg.
I saw that. I heard that.
Yeah.
They were talking about that every morning down close to Darlington, South Carolina.
Right.
Go to the same coffee house every morning.
Right. There's a group up in Indianapolis of the old sprint car and IndyCar guys, and Robin Williams on Versus and ESPN Speed. They have a coffee shop and a restaurant they go to, and Bubby Jones, Steve Chassie, several of those guys, Tom Sneva, and they all meet. weekly and drink coffee and tell as many lies as they could possibly tell. And who you got going over there, Roger? Robert Yates?
Yep.
I know. I wonder if Robert's
Rick
just got an
Hendrick,
island
Robert
somewhere.
Yates, Richard Childress,
Right.
Ernie Elliott, the engine maker.
Sure.
I'm sure I would. I tell you who would be good to get together would be Ernie Elliott and Crawlon.
Oh, I don't think we need to do that. No.
Put Steve Meal on there.
Yeah.
He's one of the engine builder legends.
STEVEHMIEL.
Yeah. Absolutely. What was the guy's name that built the engine for Earnhardt back in the 80s? What was his name? I can't. Somebody let us know. Somebody let us know who the guy was that was the engine builder for Richard Childress Racing all through the 80s and the early 90s.
Is it Kurt Schoenlundin? He was back
Kurt
then.
Schoenlundin was the crew chief. We should have him on at some point. Hey, Chocolate, if you're listening, send us a message. Let us know.
Yes.
Facebook us, buddy.
I can find out, but
Yeah.
we'll see if somebody tells us.
Sure.
Power of Google.
The power of Google.
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness.
Shoot, yeah.
If you want to get really in depth, you could Dave Villwalk or Bernie Little.
I'm going to step off to the side and get our next guest on.
All right. Get them
Okay.
lined up there for us.
We'll find the
And
number. I think
we so appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We missed one of our guests, Captain Thunder.
Yeah.
His
and,
thunder, he's like all blown out to sea or
He's
something.
waiting for
I'll
like-
tell
I
you.
thought he was the guy that they were going to shoot out of a cannon, but I may be just mistaken on that, and we just might have blown up. What do I know?
It's like one of them big storms you hear about coming in off the water, a big hurricane, and winds
Right.
up being an old blowhard.
Exactly. He's a tsunami.
It's okay.
He's a tsunami of thunder.
He has his own show, so we
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
We should call in on his show.
Hey, Captain Thunder.
Exactly.
That would be a trip. Do a call in on his show
Dual show.
and have him
Walk live.
cross interview.
Right. Exactly.
Oh my
By the way,
goodness.
just to let everybody know that if anybody wants to go to Facebook and go to my fan page at Go Terrio Go on Facebook, the first 10 people to join, we will email you a copy of my memoir, Dangerous Curves. But we're going to warn you before you do that. If you read the memoir, you will have to wear your helmet, your Hans device, and your fire suit to protect yourself. So anyway, just put that out there.
Good to know.
We appreciate everybody doing that.
Safety first.
Safety first, for sure.
We'll
Absolutely.
go join, but I don't want to
Right.
take it away from somebody
Yeah.
else.
And some more breaking news too. I put a deal together to go run the Chili Bowl, the Midget
Awesome.
Nationals out
I
in
watched
Tulsa.
that every year since I discovered it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I did it a couple of times back in the late 80s when I was just a kid. And I can't wait to do it. I'm going to go up to Indiana and do a little testing before we go. I'm going to drive a Beast chassis. Bob East is an old friend of mine. And I got a guy named Scott Galpin out of Knoxville, Iowa, who's going to be my sponsor, among others that we'll announce later. But we want everybody to come out there. We're bringing this crew with me because I'm going to need bodyguards. And because everybody gets their knife out before the feature. But it's such a super race, and so we can't wait to do that. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
Let's talk racing. You're in trouble now.
Why am I in trouble now?
It just sounds good to say that to get you started already,
I understand.
How you doing tonight, Kyle?
I've been doing pretty good. How about yourself, man?
Trying to stay busy. Everybody, we have Kyle Lockrow on the phone with us. Kyle, since there are probably some people that haven't heard about you, go ahead and give a quick bio about yourself and let everybody know where you started at and how you got to where you're going to be, or you're at, rather.
Right.
All right, sounds good. I'm 21 years old. I'm originally from La Plata, Maryland, southern Maryland, about 12 miles from the Virginia state line. Currently, I'm a junior at Towson University studying mass communications. I'm specializing in public relations with a goal of working in NASCAR either as a driver or a public relations rep for a team or for the sport itself. I started doing some driving when I was about 17. I went and did a late model test at Old Dominion Speedway in Manassas, Virginia, and it just kind of kick-started from there. I did really well at the test, and tried to get in over the next couple of years, but was trying to balance high school and racing.
Right.
opportunities just were never there. So
Sure.
now I'm running part-time in Legends cars.
Perfect. So, Kyle, you, I'm not familiar with you. You got me up to speed there. So Langley Speedway is where you kind of base out of, or do you race at other places?
Actually, I only have tested twice at Langley. The primary speedways that I run at are Old Dominion and Shenandoah.
Okay, great. So, how's the season been going for you?
So far so good. I've run 4 races this year for Yates Racing.
Right.
We've done really well. My inconsistency and inexperience has been our downfall. The equipment is top notch. It's winning equipment. My car-owner Kevin Yates provides me with great stuff. So far this year, we've had some top 10 runs. We've had a top 5. I've run up front. I've led some laps. I haven't run since July. We had a little bit of an accident the last time we went to Shenandoah, but we're going back this weekend for the season. I think it's the season finale. I don't know if any rain dates popped up, but we're going to go up there and try to redeem ourselves and have a good top 10, top 5 finish.
Absolutely.
You're experiencing everything. 'Cause you got to learn what you can while you can.
Absolutely. It was unexpected when it happened because I was battling for 7th position, and this young kid just spun out in front of me, and the instinct of me, as with no experience, was, oh, where's he going to go? He didn't slide up, he didn't slide down, he kind of just slid straight into the turn, and I should have just tapped the brake and turned left or right. Well, inner idiot popped up, and I locked the brakes up, so...
I tell you what, the locking up of brakes has cost more people cars than I can think of.
Absolutely.
Now, you don't have a spotter that was helping you or anything, tell you which way to go?
No, in Legends cars at Shenandoah, we can't run spotters. We are required to run receivers in our cars. The only people we have in our ears are the tower.
Amazing.
So it comes to driver instinct and mirrors.
Absolutely. Actually, that'll be good. Down the road, you'll appreciate that experience because it'll give you a peripheral view of racing. You won't be totally dependent upon somebody trying to walk you through a lap. Obviously, once you do step up, spotters are well needed entities of the sport, but I think that's a good thing.
Saved more cars than I know of. I mean, there are times that even a spotter's not going to be quick enough to help you.
Right.
During my racing career, I'm not big illustrious or anything like that, but there have been several times that the spotter gets on the radio and says, "How in the F did you miss that?"
Right.
He said, "I couldn't even tell you quick enough when you were already through it." Mm-hmm. So, I mean, instincts are good to have.
Yeah, it's definitely, but it's one of those things what the driver talks about it. It's just one of those bumblebee effects. Sometimes you get through them and sometimes you don't. But when you're in the car, even though the speed sense is slowed down in your mind, when something like that happens, you tend. And with my inexperience, my eyes got big and I was like, oh, what do I do?
Right.
Well, I mean, I know somebody that I know that might be able to give you a hand on spotting. A friend of mine, his name is Dan Brode.
I'm very familiar with Mr. Brode. Yeah, you thought you could get away from me. What's going on, Trouble? Hey, everybody.
How you doing there, Dan? How are you?
For those of you who don't know, we have Dan Brode on the line also with us.
Wait a second, Roger. You've known me for a long time. It's Brody. Come on.
All right.
Brody.
Sometimes people tell me it's Brode, and I kept saying it's Brody. No, it's Brode. All right, fine.
My legal name.
That's right.
Hey, so maybe when we wanted to make you into a horse, and we can call you Dan Brode or something.
That's fine. Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, we got Dan Brody on the line also in here. He wanted to surprise Kyle and be on as well, so that was our little surprise guest.
Absolutely.
Dan's got a nice career, started up doing racing as well. He's trying to, do you mind if he throws a few things out there, Kyle?
No, go ahead.
Oh,
no, I'm just here to play with Kyle, and I'm wide away from him a little bit there.
Well, get back in gear then, Kyle.
I The funny thing is, that's actually how I met Dan through racing. The first time I ever jumped in a car for the 2010 season, I jumped in a modified four-cylinder. Dan came up and helped me test and gave me a lot of good information with his experience from all his racing ventures. So, and I've become pretty good friends with Dan. So.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, Kyle, we went up to Lonesome Pine Raceway, and I coached Kyle one day. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, we had a good time. That track is really nice, and, Kyle did a good job.
Kyle, did you ever meet a guy named Bobby Gobble out at Lonesome Pine?
I'm actually not sure if I met Bobby or not.
Yeah, because he used to race out there, and he basically is in this area now, and so he now races out at Langley. He used to, I think, run the Pro 4s or something like that out there at Lonesome Pine.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with Bobby. I think I might have met him earlier this year when I tested at Langley in March. He runs the 4 car up there, and I think he started doing Legends this year, I believe.
Yep, he did Legends last year and this year.
Okay, I believe I did meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can't forget him.
You can't forget him when you meet him. He's got one of those West Virginia draws that you'll write home about.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
My wife tells me she needs me to interpret.
Absolutely.
But so what's in the future for you?
Well, this weekend we're running, as I mentioned, we're going to run Shenandoah for the final Legends race there of the season, I believe. Again, don't quote me on that. But I actually wanted to announce that I have my school, Towson University, Go Tigers, sponsoring me as the primary sponsor for the race this weekend. So we're going all out for them.
Cool.
I got some stickers on the car, and I actually just going to go up there and promote the school. This is actually our homecoming week. So we have our homecoming football game this weekend. The same night the game is, I'm actually going to be racing. So hopefully we'll go 3-0 this weekend, and hopefully maybe I can go out there and get Towson a top 5 finish.
Absolutely.
No, man, you'll win.
That's right.
Yeah, if you're out to race, you're out to win.
Right.
Top 5 is just a
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good call there, Dan.
I tell you, if you're not out there to win, that must mean you're out to lose.
We're out there to win, but I mean, I'm just trying to keep it realistic because, I mean, it's just been an up and down year. It's been a good year, but it's a learning year with me being in my first year. And Shenandoah has been a little bit of an obstacle for me since I started up there. Just I have a tendency to overdrive the corners there because it's so different than Old Dominion and the type of track it is. Just with the bumps and stuff, they're not there at Shenandoah, so it throws me for a little bit of a loop. But I mean, if we get the opportunity to win, absolutely, I'd love to go up there and put the car in victory lane. All the cars I've had are capable of winning. My car under Kevin races the cars, and he has won. He won earlier this year. In the car I've been racing, the number 27, if anybody has followed or seen pictures on Facebook or my website, Kevin has won in that car. And he's pretty much jumped out of it, put me in it the next week, and I've gone out and tried to run to the best of my ability, but also trying to make sure I bring the car home in one piece, which has been our goal this year. So.
Right.
Cool beans.
As long as you're not wrecking, you're learning. So
That's right.
And
I know how it feels my first year running at Langley, so I'm having that learning experience as well.
Right. Absolutely.
So, Kyle, who's your sponsor, the Clemson Tigers?
No, the Towson Tigers, Mr. Brode.
Okay. All right.
For those, you guys, I don't know if y'all were listening to the show earlier. We've been talking about the charity event thing that we've been helping out on at the bid for ctk.com. That's the number 4. And Dottie Hicks, who's been giving me a bunch of grief all the past few days about the Matt Kenseth hat that's out there on auction. She sent me another note and said, that did it. I went out there and I had to up my bid just to cover myself. So those are you guys should go check that out. You never know what you might find that you'll like. Next time you come up here, Dan, we'll have to take you out to the carrot tree.
Take me out to the pear tree.
Carrot tree, not the pear tree.
Oh.
Carrot, you know, that little orange thing in the ground?
Oh, gotcha. Well, either way, that'll work too.
That'll work, absolutely. Left you speechless, didn't it,
Good
Dan?
food.
Absolutely.
Good food, good people who work there. Nice and quiet most of the time.
Kyle, did you announce your new girlfriend on the radio show?
Okay, Kyle, we got to know.
Oh, now you have to.
Give it up.
And
Kyle?
What?
Kyle,
Yes, I'm here.
Dan asked, did you tell everybody about your new girlfriend?
Oh, no, I didn't. Just recently I started dating a girl that I met, and she's actually really beautiful. Her name's Madison. Dan saw the picture of her and just was like, you gotta be kidding me. And he just was giving me all kinds of stuff about it. He was giving me tips on how to be a good boyfriend and what to do to keep her. So I'm taking lessons from the man.
Hold on.
So, okay.
Hold on now.
This is a whole different can of worms here.
Okay.
Right.
Dan,
Yes.
you're giving him dating instructions.
Well, he never said they were the best. But
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I've known you long enough that
Right.
if there was notches on a gun, you need a howitzer to put all the marks on yours.
Okay, we're out of control at this point, guys.
Oh, that's hard.
So, the way I'm hearing this is, Kyle, that Dan may think that your girlfriend is above your pay grade. Now, is that true?
not say that. No. Compared to the previous girls that I've dated, yes, this one is way above par compared to what I've been with. He
Okay.
met my most recent girlfriend, did not approve of her, and was very vocal about it. But she fit the role that he was describing. So, but
Love it.
no, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want any advice from me.
Well, but I could ask you something, Dan, too, just from a standpoint of talking about girlfriends. Is there a rumor that you may be engaged?
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's true.
How many people know this?
Just a couple.
Okay, well, more know now than they did. That's for
That
sure.
number just went up a lot.
You know,
We got gas pedals and glamour going on here, folks. Just letting you know.
she's amazing. We have our ups and downs in a relationship, but when the ups are up, they're real sweet, and everything's working well. You know, she was looking forward to me doing the nationwide stuff this year that I was going to drive for Jennifer Jo Cobb for about 4 to 6 races, and then things fell through, and Jennifer Jo Cobb decided that she wanted to steal some of my parts. As this isn't the first time, I'm sure you've read of her team doing that.
Yeah, this is the very first time, right?
Never heard nothing about that stuff before.
Yeah, so, I had all the parts to convert the car over to road course spec, because as you guys know, I'm a road racer
Right.
background, and, I was entered for Watkins Glen in Montreal. I was on the entry list, everything was ready to go, and at the last minute they decided they wanted to tax about $7,000 worth of extra expenses that we didn't agree on, literally, 12 hours before the rig was going to leave, and I said, yeah, I'm sorry, I have to withdraw. I can't do this.
Right. I know.
And now they don't want to give my stuff back. But, it's just, Terry, you've been in this mess before. It's
Sure.
just, you get what you pay for, and, who you surround yourself with is, you shouldn't expect anything less. So I should have known better. I just really wanted to do Watkins Glen in Montreal and Bristol and Richmond and
Right.
Dover, and it's just, I got myself into that situation. I'll know better moving forward, and it gave Curtis Key and I the ability to laugh over a few things, and
Exactly.
now it's time for me to get my stuff back.
Right. Well, if you need help, we'll all go with you.
Hey,
I'm going to stay in the car while you do it, though. I'm not getting out.
well,
So-
I'll tell you, I've got,
Motor running.
Getaway car.
Exactly. Well, we got you back on that, Dan. We all, if you're in motorsports long enough, you're going to see the seedy side of it. It's just That's the unfortunate thing about the sport. You have it in entertainment and sports and motorsports.
You know what, Terry? I got involved with somebody you probably remember, Bobby Jones.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was involved with him, and he was I kind of miss on the shop and him cussing everybody out, threatening to close everything out every day. It was hilarious, but you got to be careful with people. Definitely, especially now. It's really bad now.
Absolutely. You know what? It is. Everybody's looking for money. The economy's tough, and people do things they shouldn't do. It's really a problem. But you know what? Like you were talking about before, you learn from your mistakes, and you try to control your own destiny as best you can. And it's just kind of the way it is.
Enough about me. I don't want to steal a limelight from Kyle. This is his show and y'all's show, so I just wanted to hop on and surprise him and have a little bit of fun with you guys for a minute. But Kyle, I'm happy everything's working out. I hope you do well, and go Clemson Tigers.
No, I'll be talking to you soon, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Dan, for calling in. We so appreciate it. It's good to talk to you.
Terry, you guys have a good evening.
I'll talk to you later, too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hey, Roger, Terry, keep in touch with me on the stuff for the future.
What now?
Keep in touch with me on next month.
You got it.
No problem.
We're on it.
All right, see you guys.
All right, bye-bye.
So, Kyle, how'd that work out for you?
That was interesting. I was not expecting. I knew Dan knew Roger and the guys from the show, but I was not expecting him to pop on. I actually hadn't talked to Dan in a couple of weeks since I'd been up here at school. I'd been so tied up with trying to get a couple jobs up here to help pay for books and stuff for next semester, and then just with classes, it's been really hectic adjusting to living on my own and stuff. So it was good to hear from him. I'm glad he's doing well, and he's always got something funny to say.
Absolutely.
We're sneaky like that.
Absolutely.
Oh, God. You never know who we're going to have on the show next, let me tell you.
Well, we're really pulling for you, buddy. Motorsports it's different than the stick and ball sports. You can't pay, you can't play. Mm-hmm. And that makes it, it's always an obstacle to overcome, and you just got to stick with it. That's the whole thing. If you're committed to it, you'll figure out a way. And we've all done that.
I've learned that this year.
Right. Steve's doing great, by the way. He's really he's a great driver. He's going to make it, but it still comes down to perseverance.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I mean, yes, the economy makes it a lot tougher than it used to be, say, 5 years ago.
Sure.
But you never know what you'll come across. Opportunities open new doors every day. You just have to be willing to, like with Dan's stuff he's been through, you just have to weed through the issues to find the opportunity that fits you like a brand new shoe. And once it fits, you never know where it's going to take you.
Absolutely. It's kind of one of those things, to have a chance, you have to take a chance. And you got to be in it to win it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, where I live in Maryland, racing here is just drag racing. That's the big popular thing, drag racing and motocross.
Yeah.
There's NASCAR fans, but the opportunity to get into NASCAR is very slim. I'm I was 6. I'm now about 7.5 hours away from Charlotte, and it makes it harder to get down there and get your name out there. Like they always say, out of sight, out of mind. If you're there, people know who you are. So
It's true.
most importantly, my education comes first. I made a promise to my parents and my grandparents to get my education, to get my bachelor's, and make sure I'm successful, because you can't be successful in the business world today without that piece of paper. So if racing works out, great, absolutely, I take it. But if the driving doesn't work, I still want to work in the sport or have a good paying job and be happy and still try to work my way in somehow.
That's the situation I'm in too. So
You got to
next year.
keep your foot in the door. Basically, you got to keep in touch with everybody. If you have to, you go down and visit some of those shops of people you know that you should see. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always unfortunately it's a politic type thing. You feel like you go out, shake hands, and kiss babies.
Absolutely.
And in the racing world, it's shake hands and kiss butt, but
That's right. That's true. Well, you're on the right track there, Kyle. You just get your education, stay focused on that, and continue to nurture your motorsports effort, and it's going to end up and be what it's going to be.
Yes, ma'am. I plan on just taking it as far as it's going to take me. I don't have the money that some people do, but I'll tell you right now, I have the heart and desire to be a Sprint Cup Series winner and champion, and I feel that with the right opportunity and perseverance, and if I can just keep doing what I'm doing, I can get there. No problem.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Were you keeping up on the stuff with Paul Menard at Richmond?
Yes, I was.
What do you think? Come on.
I'm a Jeff Gordon fan. I was not thrilled with the situation. I thought it was a little fishy when the caution happened. Because, I mean, come on. Their teammates, 17 to go. Gordon had the race won if Menard wouldn't have spun.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
All right.
I honestly think that it was done intentionally because Kevin was so far back and they knew it was their only shot. Menard was multiple laps down. The car hadn't been handling properly all night, and it's just, I don't know. I have to hear some of the radio stuff, which I'm sure NASCAR will evaluate, but I still say that it was intentional, and I think Jeff Gordon had every right to complain about that because it's just kind of suspicious that all of a sudden Paul Menard loses it off turn 4.
There's a lot of things, the what ifs. I mean, granted, say for instance he didn't spin out. Who's to say that another lap or two somebody else would have got pissed at somebody because they bounced on them once too often, tapped them and put them in the wall?
It's true.
Which Richmond is known for that to happen.
Especially in the last 10 years.
Richmond has happened a lot too.
Okay.
I've been there enough, but lately they have been quiet races. This one was not. There was a full moon
You're
out.
talking about Bristol, though.
It was full moon, by the way. Absolutely.
We're talking about the spin out at Richmond, though.
Right.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, I said Crystal. Anyway, but yeah, if he hadn't spun out, somebody else could have crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else could have happened, and so you've got the big whole what if scenario, which nobody will ever know.
That's what my daddy used to say. That's what those what ifs are for.
Yeah, and NASCAR.
We go out and race it. That's why they go out and race every weekend is just see what happens.
Yeah,
right.
That's to take care of the what ifs. We're going to show you.
That's right.
That was my thing.
Put up, shut up thing, you know.
If you're going to do something, do it while the race is going on. Don't let it carry on after.
It's just one of those things. I mean, granted, just like I said at the beginning, you can edit any of this audio footage from the track to make it sound like whatever you want it to.
Absolutely. Well, it is what it is.
Yep.
And
We just want to get your opinion on it.
absolutely. Well, all right, Kyle.
We'll go ahead and let you rock and roll down on the road there. Go ahead and run through your sponsors again.
All right. Well, like I said, I just want to let everybody know that Towson University is going to be the primary sponsor this weekend. Go Tigers! Hopefully, our football team will go 3-0. So far, apparently this is the most successful season we've had in 5 years. So hopefully, I can do some good for them as well. Like we said earlier, I can go out and win the race on Saturday and bring a trophy back to the school.
Absolutely.
Cool beans.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you have a good night, and hopefully you'll be able to come down here and visit us at Langley. Boy, I'm getting my tongue in the way of my eye teeth. Can't see what I'm saying. Have a good night, and race hard this weekend.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you again for having me on the show, and thank you, Terry. I enjoyed talking with you, and Roger, it's been a pleasure, and thanks again, and I'll be in touch with you about the results.
Poor Steven, you just left him out there hanging.
That's all right.
And Steven, I apologize.
You're good, man.
All right.
All right, have a good night. We'll talk to you next time.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was great. That was kind of a great little ploy you pulled there, and I thought that was a nice little touch, actually.
I
Let's
tried.
get everybody's opinion.
Absolutely.
Especially
good
other
deal.
drivers on that.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a nice controversy to lead in and have for the show, it's always who your guest are and say, hey, what do you think?
Exactly.
You know, I didn't get a chance to ask Dan, but I can always call him up and ask him.
Yeah, we can get that.
Sure. Absolutely.
I could actually just redial him again and he'll be right there.
Hey, real quick.
Oh, yeah, what do you think? How's that working for you? But next week, or this weekend will be a nice race.
Langley.
Oh yeah, the Langley race too.
Well, yeah, they're calling for rain, but maybe it might.
New Hampshire?
Yeah, New Hampshire, and they're also calling for rain at New Hampshire. So hopefully the
Really
rain
hope
gods
I'm
hold off.
tired of rain.
Really, it's getting
Me too.
We ran the
boring.
cup race out and
Right.
ended up being during work. We can't watch it. So.
Well, this Saturday, the thing is, I'm supposed to be at the charity thing, which is on Saturday from 6 to 9.
Right.
So I don't know what the forecast is, but I'll probably have to get up with Lubno and snag another spotter for him.
I don't
Terry!
I don't think Lubo's going to run. I think we talked to him this afternoon. He's not going to run. He's got to work. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Work's overrated.
Well, hey, that's one less person you got to get beat
But I'm
past.
telling you something.
That's a hard one to get past.
One thing that we're going to do, we're taking Lubno to the Chili Bowl with us.
There you go.
He is going to be bodyguard.
No, we'll put him in his Frankenstein outfit. That'll be killer.
Exactly. Standing there with his handlebar mustache.
Oh,
Take-
God.
All right,
And that
guys.
big ass, long ass beard now. Oh, my.
Absolutely.
It's easy top.
He is a piece of work. He's a great guy, though. We all love him.
Yes.
Well, we've had a good show tonight. I think we've got some great current topics underway. And
Good topic.
Tony was nice and quiet. Didn't
Hey, Tony.
interrupt too much. He didn't
Faith?
throw his helmet
We're
at
just
anybody.
smiling on because
Exactly.
of the win.
Oh, yeah. Hey, he's a
Exactly.
happy camper.
Got his win this year.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Now he's good at Loudon. Maybe he can get 2 in a row.
There we go. I'm all right with that.
You know, he's very capable of doing that. You know, he's
Yeah,
really fast
he
up there.
always runs
so-
good there.
Let's get a quick little hello from a bunch of friends.
Okay.
And we'll wrap it up.
Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seatbelts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driving 42 car on the thing. Let's talk racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
He's talking about, hey, here's a friend of his. Okay, well, almost threw that one out there.
Yeah, okay.
Watching
Exactly.
around my corner here. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Ooh, hold on, don't say that. Okay. That was a little background
Right,
things.
exactly.
Anyway, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out and watching the show tonight, and we will see everybody next week. See ya!
So long. Ciao.
Let's Talk Racing is brought to you by PC Doctors, Computer Sales and Services. This doctor still makes house calls. And also Hampton Incredible Tees and Signs, both located at 1248 North King Street in Hampton, Virginia.